The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is your main event of the evening. About to make his way to the ring, he weighs in at 248 pounds. Being accompanied to the ring by Father James Mitchell. This is the franchise, Shane Douglas.
When Shane Douglas made his first TNA appearance back on June the 11th, he also made his intentions crystal clear to deny Raven his chance to fulfill his destiny as NWA World Heavyweight Champion and to destroy Raven in the process. Yes, Douglas made a deal with the devil, his old friend, Father James Mitchell. You know, that deal, first it allowed Douglas to get his foot in the door, and since he got his foot in the door, Douglas and Mitchell have had tunnel vision to take out Raven.
And his opponent, from the Bowery, he weighs in at 244 pounds. This is Raven.
And here he is. Raven not only denied the opportunity to become the NWA champion by Douglas, he's been the target of the franchise's physical assaults week after week. They met back on August the 13th with Raven winning the battle, but losing the post-match war as Shane Douglas, Father James Mitchell, and the Mystery Man. They've been focused on brutalizing Raven and cutting his hair, and tonight, somebody's getting their head shaved bald.
Well, Mike, we've talked about it. This now has got to a point where it's about dignity, and they want to take the other man's dignity from him. And one other way, just like Samson, as you can see, the scissors there and the shears, just like Samson, to take away his strength, he had to cut off his hair. And that's what it's down to. And like we said, somebody will be bald tonight.
You know, historically in professional wrestling, the purpose of a hair match twofold. Number one, to settle a long-standing rivalry, just like the blood feud between Raven and Shane Douglas. And number two, humiliate your opponent. Take his pride, take his dignity, and that's what happens tonight when one of these two men gets their head shaved.
They're just staring each other eye to eye right here, trying to measure each other up and down.
You know,
there's no fear in either one of these men, Mike. That we know.
In all my years in wrestling, I've witnessed some incredible hair matches. I first remember seeing a masked wrestler named the Destroyer in Los Angeles beat the legendary Gorgeous George. He shaved Gorgeous George's famous blonde locks. It was one of Gorgeous George's final matches ever. This was in the early 60s. I can remember in Mexico seeing Conan defeat Jake the Snake Roberts in Tijuana, Mexico, and shave his head bald. Think back, I think it was WrestleMania 3, Roddy Piper, Adrian Adonis, with Piper winning that maybe most famous of all, most high-profile hair match. And here we go, Raven and Douglas, hair versus hair.
This is not just going to be a physical battle, Mike. This is going to be a psychological war between these two. Any edge that they can get, they know each other backwards and forwards. There's nothing that the one's going to do that the other hasn't seen before. So it's a matter of getting the edge and taking control, Mike.
And taking control is what Raven does. Sending Douglas out to the floor, but Douglas avoiding any further contact from Raven. Coming back into the ring as we see the close-up right here on our broadcast table. The scissors, the shears, and the mirror. Douglas rings out the arm of Raven, but left himself wide open, exposed himself, and Raven took advantage of the opening, dropping him down to the mat, connecting with a big right hand to the jaw.
It's like Raven almost let him set himself up for it. Just waited. When he got turned around, it came flying.
Don, I'm just getting word from the back. Don Callis has demanded Jeff Jarrett in the ring next week for a one-on-one showdown.
Oh, I gotta see that. You gotta be kidding me.
I mean, I know.
Don Callis challenged Jeff Jarrett to a one-on-one showdown?
That's the word. I just got it from the back.
Talk about power going to your head.
TNA management consultant Don Callis. Wow.
Jarrett will kill him.
Douglas sent in to the steel safety rail by Raven, and Raven is there ready for him as he comes off the safety rail, drops him another right hand.
I'll tell you what I love about this match. It's not going to be anything like we just saw with Jerry Lynn and AJ Styles. This is going to be an all-out war. It's going to be beautiful in its simplicity, and it is going to be an all-out war.
Back to basics is what you're talking about?
Yes.
It's an outright fight is what it is. This matchup, not about executing high-risk moves. This matchup is about finding...
It's about pride.
Who can dig down the deepest? Who can fight through pain? Who can fight through punishment? And here in the early going, Raven is in charge.
It's also about humiliation.
Raven steel chair in hand, delivers it to the back. Shane Douglas, actually to the front of Shane Douglas. Raven going to follow up the advantage.
Here we go.
Positions the chair in place. Charges at Douglas. Drops down with the leg right across the chair. He had the chair right across the face of Douglas.
I'll tell you what, Mike, it looked like Raven might have even slipped a little bit, or he'd have connected that head on.
Look at that. Using one of the fans here at the TNA Asylum to hold the steel chair. Drives Douglas again face first in. And
You'd be another fan. Well, Raven has a way of communicating with this crowd. There's no doubt he's the favorite.
Unofficial members of Raven's gallery out here helping him against Douglas.
Douglas trying to grab a garbage can, and Raven just takes it right out of his hand.
I think Douglas was just going to try and use the garbage can to steady himself, maybe to get back up to his feet, and Raven took advantage of it and threw the trash can right in his face again.
Get him, Raven. Get him.
Referee Andrew Thomas trying to get some semblance of order here, but I don't see it happening, Mike.
You know what? Good call by Andrew Thomas, giving these two men the leeway out here as they fight out in the TNA Asylum. Let's settle the score once and for all. Let's find out who gets their head shaved bald. Is it going to be Raven or Douglas?
Not only that, though, if he did try to stop it out there, that crowd would tear him apart limb from limb, Mike. They came to see a hair versus hair match, and that's what they're going to get.
Raven follows up the advantage. The beating that he just administered to the franchise Shane Douglas out in the crowd at the Asylum, and now throws him back into the ring. Douglas able to reverse him off into the ropes.
Oh, he's got him.
Raven ducks the clothesline, hooks on the Cobra clutch. You know what? I talked to Raven earlier. He said he had a phone conversation this week to try and perfect this move. He was talking to Mark Lewin, the Purple Haze, trying to get Mark Lewin's advice on the Cobra clutch, and Raven has it cinched in. Trying to wear down the franchise Shane Douglas. This is one of those moves that, as the move progresses, the blood in the head of Shane Douglas is cut off because of the Cobra clutch. You see him drop down to a knee. Now trying to get back up to a vertical base, trying to fight it off.
He had to, Mike. He had no choice. But Raven goes right there.
Gonna go for the DDT. Gonna go for the Raven effect that time.
Douglas still dropped to the ground. Good move.